Hi, I'm Rob from Rob's Been Running. I hope you are doing well, staying safe and training hard. Welcome back to the channel. I haven't done a video for a while, so apologies for that. I've really been concentrating on training and getting ready for the UTMB Istria 100k in Croatia. But a little bit of a video for a difference today. Today we're trying to answer a question. And that question is there such a thing as a perfect hydration vest? I'll let you leave your thoughts on that in the comments below this video, which we'll come back to in a bit. But I've run in several hydration vests, as I'm sure many of us have, and those of you guys watching. But I've never found a perfect one, and I've been through a few. And today, what we're going to do is take a look at the last 3 running vests that I've run in. And I'm picking out the pros and cons in those vests, and then yeah, we'll get to a little conclusion as to see, you know, what's been great and what's not been so great about the vests that I've used, and yeah, maybe what we would like to see in the future. So let's start diving into that now with the first vest, and it's the Everdict vest from Decathlon. Okay, so we're going to be focusing on 4 main points that we're going to cover here. First being build quality, the second being storage options, third being ease of use, and the last one is fit and comfort. So as I said, we're going to go through the Everdict race vest from Decathlon first. This is a 15 litre race vest. The other 2 race vests that we're looking at are both 12 litres. That's just because that's how Decathlon did that, with a 5 litre, 10 litre, 15 litre, and so on and so forth. And I'm going to focus on the pros and cons that I've listed here, which I'll put on screen for you as well. And then we can, yeah, we'll just go through those, and then we can make a conclusion at the end of the video. But so the first pro I've put here is good storage options in the back of the vest. So this vest does have good storage options. I ran this vest for several ultras. So you've got a nice big storage pocket here on the back, so the back compartment there. There's another little storage pocket below that, and those pockets overlap on top of the main storage compartment. So the main one is on this side, and you've got a really big pocket there. This is great size pocket for ultras. There's a little pouch inside there as well, which you can't not see very easily. And then there's also this little zip pocket in here as well for storing things that you want to secure down. Just to give it a little test, we've got quite a loaded dry bag here with some mandatory kit in it. And if we slide that in there, that zips up nice and easy. Plenty of space in there as well for more stuff. So as I say, it's 15 litre. You can obviously adjust the straps at the side here in order to cinch that down. There's no bungee system, which is probably a con, which I haven't put on there actually, but I should have done. It's no bungee system in the back there. Bungees can be quite useful. And then you've got a good sized pocket down the bottom here where you can put your rain jacket, etc. in there, so it's good for that. Second pro on the list is the capacity for water. This holds up to 3 litres of water, so you've got a bladder attachment in the back here, and you can get a 2 litre bladder in there quite comfortably. I used to use a 2 litre bladder back in the day. I don't use bladders anymore, but I used to. You get too hot with them, don't you? But yeah, that fits in there nicely. And then of course up front you've got 2 pockets here, one on either side for your 500ml soft flasks. And these are the soft flasks that you get with that pack. I actually still use these, and I'll come back to why in a minute. Well, actually, we can go through that now. These soft flasks have lockable lids. You just twist that there, so you don't lose any fluid, which makes it great when you need a third bottle on an ultra. You can use your 2 standard bottles if you're not using these as your standard bottles, and then keep a third in the back or whatever of your pack, and you can lock the lid. So that's good. It's one of the other pros on this. The soft flasks are quite easy to get into the pockets. It's a proper bugbear of mine. We can demonstrate that now. So we'll pop this pack on. Pop that on there now. See how good this goes. We'll talk through the clasps in a minute, but clip that in there. Okay. So the old bottle test. I've only got one of these bottles left actually because the other ones were getting a bit manky, so I got rid of them. So not too bad. Bottle goes in there quite easily. Pretty good. So, and the same for the other side. Pop that in there. There we go. Not too bad at all. So that's good as well. I just pop this. Well, actually, before I pop these open, one of the other pros is actually that these clasps are really quite good for a tailored fit. So got lots of attachments here. You can move these clasps up and down. So just by taking them out on the sides here, on both sides, move them up and down the pack in order to get a tailored fit. So they're pretty good. Next up, one of my favourite things about packs, and this is not down to everyone's cup of tea, but this pack has the option to attach a pole quiver. I don't like carrying my poles in the bungee cords at the back because I find that they shake loose over a period of time, and I also find them uncomfortable at the front, probably because of my body shape. I'm quite wide chested here, so the pole I find rubs if I've got them at the front. So I used to put them at the back, but because that was getting a bit annoying that they were dropping down, I switched to pole quiver. Now there aren't that many packs on the market with pole quivers, but the Everdict pack has one, and this is the quiver for that. And quite simply, it attaches to the top here. See the pole quiver attachment here, just attaches up there like that. And then you've got the little strap at the bottom, which clips into the bottom there. So that's another good option, and something that I always look out for on my race vests. And then the last thing is the price, really. So this came in when I purchased it at $69.99, which is a really good price at the time. In 2022 that was. I believe that the latest Everdict pack is a similar price. It might have gone up a little bit, but yeah, good price for the pack at the time. On to the cons. Okay, this vest, I won't put it back on, but it doesn't hug the body as well as some of the other vests on the market. You'll see here that there's very little elasticity in the pack. So basically what that means is, whilst when you put the pack on it feels quite snug, when you start running you get quite a bit of bouncing. Not so bad when the pack's full up, but when the pack's only half full you can feel it when you're running along. So yeah, not perfect for that. Also, upfront storage. So I mentioned there was a lot of storage on the back. I'm just going to take this pack out of here, actually, this dry bag, because it's awkward to show you the pack when it's like that. So upfront storage, you've only got, on the front you've got a little pocket here, a little pocket in here which is a Velcro pocket. You can get gels and things in there. You've also got a front gel pocket here, so this one's a bit longer, so you might be able to, you can get your mobile phone in there as well, actually, and the whistle's in there as well. The whistle's actually not too bad on here. Most of them are terrible. And then on the other side you've got a zip pocket, so you can put your phone in there. It's a bit more secure. So the zip pocket on this side, and then you've got two more pockets here at the front, the same on the other sides. You do have some substantial side stretchy pockets along the side of the vest here, and the same on the other side. And yeah, that's about it. So one thing that does let this vest down is storage on the front of the pack. And then the other thing, it's quite a weighty pack. It's not heavy, but the material is quite thick, which means the pack runs hot in the summer months. And lastly, my last con on this for this vest is the bottles. So I mentioned how the bottles have got lockable lids, which is perfect and great. However, look at the size of the opening of that bottle. If you can't even get a hydration tablet in there, one of those, like a high five tablet, you have to snap it in half to get it in the bottle. And then it's a whole new ball game when you come to using your a sachet of Tailwind or something. You take the top off to get the powder in, and you get more powder on the floor than you do in the bottle. That's a bit of a gripe that I have with these. When I take this now as the third spare bottle, I either just take water in it or I'll take a high five tablet, because you can at least snap them in half and then drop them in and fill them up. I never use this with a Tailwind powder anymore. So that is the Everdict race vest. Now we'll move on to the next one, and that is the Montane Gecko VP12. Okay, so onto the Montane Gecko VP12 race vest, or hydration vest. I had used this vest a hell of a lot. It's been over many ultras with me, and did a sterling job. I even had to repair it a couple of times after the amount of use. Some fancy stitching down the side there. You can't really see it that well, but yeah, I stitched this up as it was starting to fall apart, which is why I don't use it anymore, because it's had its day. But it was good at the time. So let's go through the options, for the pros first on this pack. And the first point to make is the storage options. Now this pack does have good storage options all the way around it, basically. So we'll start at the front. So at the front here, we've got the bottle holders at the top. We'll go through that in a minute. Then we have this quite big zip pocket. Zip like that there we go. Big zip pocket. You can get a lot in there. This is where I used to store all of my, well, on this side it was my phone, but I would store all my gels in here. It's a big old stretchy pocket, similar to what you get on the Salomon vests. And then below that, you've got a small little pocket, which I used to find really good for putting gels in, but also you get the chews, and the chews really fit well in this little pocket. It's only a small pocket, but it's pretty good. Down the side of the pack, you've got a decent sized pocket. That's a really big pocket actually. You can get a lot in there, and that kind of goes right the way round towards the back of the pack. So very, very similar to some of the Salomon packs. So really big pocket there, you can get a lot in there. And obviously exactly the same on the other side. So you've got another zip pocket here, big old pocket, and then that little pocket again at the front, and then a really big long side pocket here. Plenty of space in there, which is really, really good. One thing you do have on this, so if we move to the back, you've got the bungee cord system, so you can store things in there, so that's good. There is no kangaroo pouch pocket at the back here, annoyingly. That was one thing that it doesn't have, but it does have in the top of this one, and you see this on some race vests, you've got the pocket at the top, and I used to stow my waterproof jacket in there. Either that or that third bottle I talked about, that fits really nicely in the top of that pocket, as the whole new spare bottle. And then to the main compartment. So the main compartment, yeah, is a big old compartment. It's only a 12 litre vest, so it's not as big as the Everdict vest from Decathlon, but yeah, you can still fit a fair amount in it. So if I just pop that in there, again, I haven't even undone the bungee cord. I could undo that and release more space, but this one fits a really good amount of gear in it as well. So I'm going to take that back out because it's awkward to show you the vest with that in. I actually do, one thing I do prefer actually is having a top pocket. I know the Everdict vest had a side zip. I actually think it's easier to get your stuff in there when the pocket's at the top. It's just a preference for me, but I actually prefer that. So yeah, that's the that's the storage space. Onto the next one. So in terms of water or fluid, this holds 3 litres as well. So you've got the pocket at the back here for the bladder. If you want to use a bladder, you unhook that there, and then you can drop the bladder in. And then you've got your 500ml soft flasks here. So these are the Montane soft flasks that fit into this pack. Yeah, so it's can hold up to 3 litres of fluid. Next, we'll go for the fit. So this has a snug fit. If I just pop that on. We will discuss one thing in a minute though, about the clasps at the front, because those of you who are eagle-eyed will know that these are not the Montane clasps. You will recognise them from another brand, but the fit is quite good on this vest regardless. We'll go through the clasps in a minute for the cons. So you've got this Velcro fitting system here, which holds the bottom in to keep it snug, and then you should have 2 clasps that fit across here with an adjustable strap on both. The material on this, it has got some like elasticity in it, so it fits very, very well, and it's relatively adjustable as well. You've got some cords here and what have you. You can adjust this pack relatively well. It fits snug, doesn't bounce around, which is good. So yeah, it's actually quite a nice fitting pack in general. Back to the soft flasks. These go in quite easily, which is good. It's one of the things I do like about the pack. So just do the little test here. There we go, there's one. Shut down a bit. And then for the other side, there we go. So they go in quite nice and easy. So for the flask test, as I would want to call it. But yeah, they're pretty good as well. And then lastly, the openings. These have got the big openings on the soft flasks, so you can get your powder in there pretty good. So thumbs up for the bottles in that respect. Onto the cons. The original front clasping system was not great, to be honest with you. It fitted well to begin with, but then on long runs the clasps would come loose and you'd find yourself tightening them, and it just got a little bit annoying. You'd be running along and you think, oh, why is my vest moving around, and you notice that it would come loose. So I adjusted mine and took off the old clasps, bought some Salomon quick links, and put those on the vest, and that solved the problem. So note to Montane, if you're watching this, please update the clasps on your vest. The Velcro attachment on the front of the vest, this bit here, works really, really well. Holds the vest really snug, but the excess is quite annoying. There is a little like Velcro attachment here where you can roll up the excess and then adjust it, but you still have this flappy bit. Quite annoying to me on long when you're running. You can feel that there. Let's just take this off for a minute. My main bugbear, there is no quiver attachment on here, which means you've got to carry your poles in the back or on the front, and on one of these front bungee cord things. Yeah, I was not happy about that. So I was carrying them in the back, but as I said, I don't like that because they kept coming loose. So I found myself with all sorts of problems when I was carrying my poles with this vest. Back to the bottles. Keeping on with the cons here, they don't lock, so if you accidentally squeeze it, you're going to get wet. And one of the things that I don't like with these types of bottles is that when you're transitioning from, say, your hotel to the race venue and you put your kit in the back seat or something, if these bottles touch your seats, all your seats get wet and you lose half the fluid. Quite annoying. So yeah, I like lockable lids on my bottles. Unfortunately, most bottles these days don't come with them. Lastly, the Montane Gecko vest is not one of the cheapest vests on the market. Retails at £140. So yeah, there are cheaper available, and we're about to discuss one of those next. So on to the next one. Okay, so on to the third and final vest, and this one is probably the most popular vest on the market today. It is the Salomon Advanced Skin 12 set. Now this vest has been around for years and years, and it has a huge popular following. So when I was after a new vest, it was like, well, there's only one vest that I'm going to go and try. And that was the Salomon Advanced Skin 12 set. So let's go through that now, and start with the pros, obviously, as we have done with the others. Good storage options around the front of around the whole of the vest. I mean, I have to say by starting that this vest does have the most storage options out of any of the vests that I've used previously, and not just these three that we're talking today, any of the vests I've used previously. You've got stuff pockets everywhere. So in start on the front hand side, I know it's black so it's hard to see. You've got a big pocket in the front there. You've got a zip pocket below that, which you can fit loads in as well. So this zip pocket is similar size to the one on the Montane Gecko. But on this one, on this vest, you've also got the pocket that sits above that. Just inside that pocket, you've got the rubbish bag. Now this is a gel bag, or gel pocket, should I say, for any used gel wrappers. That's a great little feature, and I've used it quite a lot already since I only had this vest a few months. Run a few races in it already, but yeah, had that pocket. Unfortunately for you, on the latest version of this vest, they've taken that pocket away, so maybe you might want to buy the previous version to get that if it's something that you like the sound of. So we've got that gel pocket as well, so you've got good storage options. And then sitting below that pocket where the gel pocket is, there's another pocket which goes right the way down the side, right the way to the back of the vest. Huge pocket, so lots of storage. It's the same on the other side. You've also got these pockets at the top. I don't use these because I think if you put anything too bulky in there, it rubs on your shoulder. But there's a little pocket at the top here. There's your water bottle pocket. And then it's the same. You've got the big stuff pocket here. You've got the zip pocket below that or above that, which goes round. And then you've got the other pocket. There's no gel pocket on this side, or gel rubbish pocket. You don't need to. But then you've got the other side pocket, which again goes right the way around to the back. So really good storage around the front. Starting on the back here at the top, you've again got that little pocket at the top where you can put your rain jacket in there if you want, or again that third bottle, spare bottle. At the back, at the bottom, you've got the kangaroo pouch. So again, you can put anything in there you like really, but again you could put in there your waterproof jacket. And then you've got some bungee cords as well you can play around with here. And then finally you've got the main pouch, and the main pocket at the back. So let's put our trusty dry bag into that pocket. I know this is going to fit because I've had it in there before. However, I think that it fits snugger than the other two packs. Even though the Montane Gecko was a 12 litre one, same as this, it feels like there's less space in this than there was in that one. So yeah, and we will come back to that in a minute because that was one thing that I kind of called out on this race vest as a con. But you've got good storage all the way around this vest. This vest fits incredibly snugly. It is the best fitting vest out of all of them. So let's just pop that on if I can. This is never easy. These vests are so snug that it's actually quite challenging to get on at times. Once it's on, it's great, but getting it on, not so much. So clip that in there. I'm wearing a large, by the way, and I checked this before I bought it, and it's exactly what's recommended for my chest size. So that's why I'm wearing it. but it's very snug. There's no movement when you run. It's just there. It stays in perfect place. So in that respect, it's pretty good. There's multiple adjustments all over this thing for adjusting the fit to get it absolutely perfect. So yeah, it's a good fitting one. Again, holds up to 3 litres of water. You've got a bladder in the back, bladder pocket in the back there. You can hook up the bladder. On the front here, you've got your water bottle holders as well. And we'll do the bottle test in a minute because it's one of the things I want to come back to. On the back, we have a custom quiver attachment, so which is great. So you can use the quiver on here as well, which is one of the things that stood out for me. Another plus about this is the price. So this vest retails at $125.99, and whilst that's not cheap, it is cheaper than some of the other vests on the market. Obviously £15, roughly nearly £15 cheaper than the Montane Gecko vest. The quiver is an additional cost, but only 22 quid. Same as the Ebedict quiver was also an additional cost, slightly cheaper, I think, under £20, I think. Now, I want to come back to the cons. So I mentioned the back pocket. That was one thing that I thought was a con. Whilst that bag, my dry bag here, with some kit in it, did fit in quite easily, I struggled with this on some of the bigger ultras. So I did the Architrician 100 miler. Well, I started it, I didn't finish it, but I started that in January. I struggled to get the kit in. I've been told that others were fine, and maybe I was taking too much kit, but I was taking all the mandatory kit, and not a lot more than that. I found it quite tough to get that in. Maybe that's the introduction of the bowls and the spork that you have to take now with you. They have to be like solid collapsible ones. They take up quite a bit of space. You can't really put those in here because they're quite uncomfortable if you do that. So maybe that was the reasoning, but I just found that I didn't fit as much in here as I fitted in the other 2 packs that we discussed today. And then my other con is the bottles. The bottles themselves, fine. Getting them in here is not so fine. So I've looked at different ways of doing this. I've played around with it, and apparently it's a technique. It's like a knack. So the first bit goes in right. After that, it gets tricky, and I play around with it. I twist it, and eventually I force it in, but that's still not in far enough. It's in a bit better now. And then of course you do have the very handy little loop that goes over the top. You have to be careful when you do that because these don't lock as well. If you tap it, you can shoot yourself in the face. But yeah, bottles are not so easy to get in, which is one of my other gripes about this vest. I've also tried, so at the moment these are quite full up. If I let a little bit of liquid out, so the bottle becomes soft. I've also tried that, but I found in this vest that does not work. So as you can see, it's a bit annoying. I find it annoying anyway, and it's one of my gripes about this vest. I've known people to say that, a lot of people say that the bottles can be difficult to get in. A lot of people say also that it's just a knack. I've clearly not found the knack yet because it's a bit annoying. So yeah, that is my 2 cons about this, about the Salomon Advanced Skin 12 set. So let's just come to a conclusion and see what we think about these 3 vests, and if there's an answer to our question. So at the start of this video, I asked the question, is there such a thing as a perfect hydration vest? Now, I think the Salomon Advanced Skin 12 comes close to it. Do I think it's perfect? No, I don't. I think it's got room to improve with the storage in the back, the main storage. I think the front storage is absolutely excellent. I think that it's comfortable. I do think actually I would like to go up a size next time I buy one of those to see whether that makes getting these bottles in any easier. This is a large size, and I usually use large in my race vests, sometimes medium actually. but yeah, so maybe that's a problem. And then of course, yeah, getting the bottles in. So I would like to see an improvement on that. If we go back through the Montane Gecko vest, the main issue there is the quiver attachment. There's no quiver. For me, that's a big no-no. But there are not that many vests on the market that have quiver attachments. So I don't know why. Maybe most people don't like to use quivers, but I do see a lot of elite athletes using quivers. So it does make me wonder why that's the case. So yeah, I don't know. Maybe that's something that we could all ask for in the future. I don't know. It'd be interesting actually if you let me know in the comments below whether you like using a quiver for your poles or not. I've had a few people mention that in the past to me about the lack of pole quivers on the market. So it'd be interesting to see. So yeah, the Montane Gecko vest is lacking the quiver, and then of course that front clasp system, which was kept coming undone. So I'd like to see Montane update that, and they haven't done in their latest version. Hopefully they do in the future versions of that, and also something for that Velcro attachment on the front. And then of course if we go back to the Everdict vest, plenty of storage in that vest in the back, terrible storage on the front. Well, not terrible, but not good, not enough really if you're going to be racing long. And as that's got 15 litre capacity, that is for quite long races. You know, 15 litres is quite a generous capacity. So yeah, I'd like to see that. Obviously it had the pole quiver, which is great, and for the price you're getting a good race vest for the price. I just think that when you start stepping up the race distances and the quality races, I think you probably need a slightly better quality pack. And the Gecko for me did that to a degree. So yeah, so do I think there's a perfect race vest? Probably not, but do let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Yeah, you never know, maybe one day we'll find one. And if somebody has found that perfect race vest, it has all of those bits and it works well and it fits, it's got a quiver and all of those bits, then please do let me know so I can go and buy one. Because yeah, I would really like a vest that does everything for us, and I don't feel that I found that today. But there you have it. That's kind of my view on race vests. Please do let me know yours in the comments below. And yeah, hopefully together we can find the race vest, the perfect race vest for all of us. But thank you for watching. If you like this video, please like, comment, share, subscribe and all of that good stuff. And I will see you on the channel soon. Train hard, race hard, have fun. Until next time, I will see you soon.